Have you ever noticed that the man a woman remembers most isn't the one who did everything for her? Not the guy who sent the longest messages, brought the biggest gifts, or was always the first to text. No. The one who lingers in her mind is different. He doesn't need to say much. His presence alone is enough to shift the energy in the room. Even in silence, he's felt. He may just sit there, calm and still, and yet everything around him somehow changes. Women don't always talk about him openly, but their eyes do. Their body language shifts. Their energy subtly realigns when he's near. This video is about that man. And no, this isn't just about physical attraction. It's not about being flashy, charming, or overly romantic. This is about essence. It's about the kind of masculine energy that doesn't need noise to make an impact. Calm, rooted, unshakable. A quiet confidence with clear boundaries. Most men try to win women by showing love and affection in every possible way. But the truth is, what really captivates a woman happens the moment she feels this. If I want him, I'll have to rise to meet him. That shift changes everything. Because deep down, women aren't drawn to men who try to earn their attention. They're instinctively pulled toward men who are already complete within themselves. Men who don't chase out of emptiness but who give from abundance. There's a mysterious irony here. Women can't resist these men, but they'll never say it out loud. Why? Because admitting it would make them feel too exposed, too vulnerable. This video promises you one thing. You don't need to talk more, give more, or bend yourself out of shape to be seen. You'll learn how your presence, when grounded and real, acts like a magnet. You'll understand what behaviors unconsciously pull women in, and how true masculine energy speaks without ever raising its voice. This isn't a flirtation guide. This is a wake-up call for men. It's about remembering who you are, coming back to your center, and realizing why some men can never be forgotten. Every moment in this video is a mirror. In every line, you'll either recognize an old mistake or discover a future strength. And by the end, not only will you understand her better, you'll rediscover yourself. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Women resist the man who stays in his center. There are things in life that can't be explained, only felt. One of them is this: a woman's strange and powerful attraction to a man who doesn't even try. He doesn't overwhelm her with messages or compliments. He doesn't perform or chase. And yet, when she's around him, she talks softer. She slows down. She thinks twice before speaking. She might not even know why, but inside she starts a quiet war just to get his attention. Why? Because he knows how to stay in his center. This means her mood, her opinions, even her attention don't shake his balance. He doesn't need external approval to know what kind of day he'll have or who he is. He isn't calm because she's around. He's calm because that's his default state. And she feels this deeply. She might not say it aloud, but something in her whispers, "I can't reach the center of this man." That's when fascination begins. Because women don't consciously desire needy men, they're pulled toward men who choose rather than chase. Men who are whole. And here's where most men fail. The moment a woman pulls back a little, they panic. Text after text, calls, over-explaining, rearranging their day around her silence. And she sees it clearly. This man is not at the center of his own life. And just like that, respect fades. Attraction vanishes. And sometimes it ends for good. But you can choose another path. If a woman doesn't show interest, you don't force her attention. You remain present, but you don't orbit around her. You are open, but not dependent. She might move you, yes, but she doesn't steer your direction. And this presence, it makes her pause. She thinks, he doesn't need me to feel valuable. And yet, he chooses to spend time with me. That's powerful. Because everything that has real value carries a sense of distance, something unreachable, something you can't just grab. Women slowly go blind to what's always available, but they never forget the man who remains centered. This isn't a trick. It's not about acting cold. It's about being a man who's resolved within himself. If you need to say no, you say it. You don't worry about disappointing her. You make eye contact, but there's no desperation behind your gaze. You offer interest, not as a gift, but as a shared experience that requires mutual value. She'll sense that being close to you isn't a right, it's a privilege. And when a woman realizes this, you become something rare. A man who holds value without needing to ask for it. Most men never reach this point. And here's the truth, this kind of presence won't leave you alone. Some women might call it distant at first and walk away. But the right woman, the one who's been praised but never truly respected, she'll stop when she sees you, and you'll see it too. Because the most captivating woman isn't the one who relaxes around you, it's the one who straightens up, who becomes more of herself, who remembers who she is, and only a man like you can do that. That's why women fall for this energy. They can't explain it, but once they feel it, they never forget it. A man who has his own world doesn't shape everything around a woman. He shapes the world around himself. He wakes up with purpose. He lays his head down at night with a sense of meaning. And no, it's not always about success. It's about clarity. It's about knowing what he wants. Maybe he's building a business. Maybe he's chasing a dream. Maybe he simply commits to his morning workouts without fail. But there's rhythm in his life, structure, passion. And here's the thing, women sense this. They don't just notice it, they want to be part of it. Too many men try to impress women by becoming like them, agreeing with everything, adjusting to their schedules, shaping every plan around them. But the man a woman truly falls for isn't the one who centers his life around her. It's the one who remains the center of his own life. He has his own limits, his own time, his own hobbies, his own circle. And when he invites a woman into that space, it's not to fill a void, it's to share what he already has. That's what makes her feel safe, seen, and inspired. She doesn't want a man who completes her. She wants a man with whom she can grow. The more meaningful your life is, the more she'll admire it. The more grounded you are, the safer she'll feel. Because whether she admits it or not, a woman's deepest unconscious need is emotional security. And only a man with a steady path, a clear direction, and a strong sense of self can provide that. If you don't have a route, she won't know where to place you. But if you do, that becomes your greatest magnet. The most attractive version of a man is the one who finds satisfaction in his own journey. Not the one who lives for a woman, but the one who lives with purpose despite her. So, guard your space. Be the captain of your ship. Fill the emptiness in your life with your own hands, not someone else's presence. Because no woman wants to anchor herself in a man with no map. Focus on growth. Stay curious. Invest in your interests. Take care of your appearance. But care more about your inner world. Not to impress women, but to honor yourself. Because if you have nothing to show her when she walks into your life, she won't stay long. But if you've built something real, she'll see a place where she too can grow. Women don't love potential. They love stability. And stability comes from a man's inner power and the life he built with his own hands. When you've created your own world, you no longer need to perform for attention. You shine from within. Women notice that, but no one's drawn to a dark, empty void. So ask yourself today, is my life magnetic enough for a woman to want to be part of it? Do I have a vision, a mission, a fire that she could admire? If the answer is no, then when this video ends, start building it. Love begins not when you meet someone, but when you've built a life worth sharing. Chapter 5. It's not about being unreachable, it's about being selective. Women don't feel the same about every man, but they all feel a quiet pull toward the man who values himself. The one who isn't available to just anyone. The one who doesn't throw his attention around like it's limitless. And that's exactly what makes his attention feel like a gift when it finally lands. Here's one of the secret skills of manhood: knowing how to be selective without pretending to be unreachable. That's not arrogance, that's strength. Reaching for everyone is desperation. Choosing carefully, that's power. You see, acting unreachable is fake. It's a performance. But being selective, that comes from self-respect. If you're someone who doesn't fall for every smile, who knows his worth, and protects his energy, you don't need to explain it. She will feel it. And the moment you think, let me impress her, you've already lost the balance, but when you think, she needs to impress me too, you shift the dynamic, and suddenly you're not just attractive, you're valuable. Many men think the more time, energy, and attention they give, the more a woman will love them. But here's the truth. A man who gives his attention to everyone eventually means nothing to anyone. When your interest is too easy to get, your value starts to fade. Women don't fall for emotionally distant men. They fall for emotionally stable men. Men who don't turn toward everyone. Men who choose. And what does a selective man do? He doesn't reply instantly to every message, because he's not on standby. He doesn't agree to every plan, because he has his own. He doesn't nod at everything she says, because he has a mind of his own. He says no when it matters, and that no becomes his quiet superpower. Women don't find men attractive because they say yes all the time. They find them attractive because they mean what they say. A selective yes means more than 1,000 desperate ones. And when she knows your attention isn't for everyone, it becomes something she wants to earn. This isn't about ego, it's about self-awareness. Because a man who tries to please everyone loses himself. But a man who stays centered pulls not just attention, but respect. And respect, that's the strongest glue in any relationship. Women don't just love selective men, they fear losing them. Because they know this man's interest has value, and who he gives it to says everything about him. If you're always texting, always calling, always available, she may start to see you as just another source of attention. But when you're selective, your attention becomes a reward. That's where real attraction begins. A woman doesn't want you because of how much you give. She wants you because of how much you remain yourself. The man who stays true even when the world goes silent. He isn't just liked, he's remembered, he's respected. In the end, don't try to be unreachable, but don't be accessible to everyone either. Stay in the center. Stay clear. You don't need everyone to understand you, you just need to understand yourself. Your attention is valuable. And when it's reserved for those who truly deserve it, that's when women fall in love with your presence, even if they never admit it. So take a step back and look at yourself from the outside. This video wasn't meant to teach you how to prove yourself. It was meant to remind you of what's already inside you. Because when a woman can't forget you, it's not because of the words you said or the gifts you gave. It's because of your presence, your silence, your ability to choose, your loyalty to yourself. And that's exactly why women fall for this kind of man, quietly but completely. We've been taught that to be masculine means being loud, dominant, always chasing. But real strength isn't about noise. It's about calm. Real power isn't in chasing. It's in staying still when you know who you are. It's not in over-explaining, it's in conviction. So if today you still feel the need to prove yourself to someone, pause and ask, do I really deserve that attention? If your answer is yes, then act like it. Act like the man who invests in himself, who controls his emotions, who doesn't hand his energy out to everyone, who doesn't waste time on anything less than real. Because women don't stay for the flash, they stay for the energy, and energy doesn't lie. Everything we've talked about in this video is meant to bring you back to yourself, to your center, and from that place, you make a choice. You won't chase. You won't react to every silence. You won't try to prove who you are. Because your worth isn't in her recognition, it's in your self-awareness. And I know, maybe a voice inside still whispers, but I still think of her. That's okay, it's human. But if you want to live in her mind, you have to become the kind of man she can't forget. And that only happens through presence, through silence, through consistency. This video was made to remind you of that man. And if something inside you was lit up by what you heard today, write just 2 words in the comments, my silence. Not just a phrase, a promise. From this day on, you are not the man chasing. You are the man watching, grounded, purposeful, walking his path with clarity. Invest in yourself, protect your presence, and remember, women fall hardest for the man who never stopped being himself. Even if they never say it, they always feel it.